Hey everyone, welcome to my show, Idiot. Yay. So I have a really cool guest today. Her name's Jamie Hess, and she's a self-development coach, and she's awesome. And she's a Patreon member. And that's why she's on my show, because if you join my Patreon, you can enter a chance to be a guest on my show, whether you're promoting your business, you have a philanthropic cause, you just want to share your story because it's insane, or you just want to hang out with me. You can just submit on my Patreon, patreon.com/Laura Clary, to be a guest on my show. And I would love to meet you and hang out. She was so much fun. I had the best time with her, and I want to have a great time with you too. So if you want to join and be a guest on my show, join my Patreon, patreon.com/Laura Clary. Yay. And by the way, I offer so much on there. It's only $3 a month. I wanted to keep the price nice and low, something that most people could afford, $3 a month. And I write really personal essays of stuff I'm not even comfortable talking about across all social media. So we have really great, vulnerable, fun conversations on there every single week. I go live, get to know you guys. I'm also giving away free signed copies of my book. I'm signing copies of my book and giving them away for free. If you join my Patreon, you can enter to win a free signed copy of my book. It's just $3 a month. Laura Clary, or patreon.com/Laura Clary. So that being said, little update with me before I start this interview. Kids are back in school. They started last week, they're both going to a new school, which I'm so excited about because this school has an inclusion model. So my son, for the first time ever, is in a classroom with quote unquote typical kids, gifted kids, all different types of kids are in the same class with multiple teachers, aides, therapists. So they all learn side by side together. And I'm so excited about that. And Poppy's in the same type of class. And yeah, it's just a very exciting transition for them. So that started happening last week. I feel a little dry. For those of you who aren't aware, I don't mean dry on my skin. My skin is actually doing well right now. Thank you for asking. But I'm not really going to recovery meetings as much. I find I'm just like putting my kids and my work before my recovery meetings, to the point where I had a commitment at my home group. It was a literature commitment where I'd have to bring all the literature to the meetings. And I got fired. I got fired from my literature commitment. And that's how I know that my life is becoming just a little bit unmanageable, because I got fired from my commitment because I wasn't showing up consistently enough. And I understood. So I went in there and made amends. And I guess I'm just, when you have long-term sobriety, it's like nothing in me wants to drink, So I feel good. I'm like, I'll have 15 years, October 29th. Like nothing in me wants to do a rail or have a glass of wine or smoke a joint. Like I just don't have the desire anymore, but it does show up in other areas, or I start like just not having that emotional sobriety and support. It does affect me mentally. And I just think I'm way happier when I'm connecting with other women and deeply sharing and deeply listening about what's going on in my life. So I really need to get back to that. And I wonder if anyone else in recovery struggles with that. Like sometimes you're really involved and then other times you're not. Thanks to Good Wipes for sponsoring this episode. Okay, you guys, I'm literally obsessed. Like, you need to understand the level of obsession we're dealing with here. Good Wipes. They're flushable booty wipes. And I genuinely did not know my life was missing them until they showed up in my bathroom. My family and I have tried other wet wipe brands that claim to be flushable, and we just end up with clogged toilets. Then I tried Good Wipes one time and I had a full spiritual awakening on the toilet. I texted my sister from the bathroom. That's how you know it's real. The thing that got me, how much cleaner you feel, how soft they were. They don't dry out your skin. They don't irritate anything. They're made with plant-based fibers, no harsh chemicals, which matters because my skin is dramatic and reacts to everything. And this is the part that shocked me. They are actually flushable. Actually, they are now a staple in this house. I keep a pack in every bathroom. There's one in my purse. There's one in my gym bag. And if I were low on Good Wipes, that's a family emergency. My favorite scent is rose water. It's gorgeous, but they've got Botanical Bliss, Shea Cocoa, lavender, and a fragrance-free one if you have very sensitive skin. I have recommended these to literally everyone I know because they're just that good. Once you try them, you're not going to go back to just toilet paper. I'm sorry, you're just not. Good Wipes wants your booty to have a sensational summer. Buy any 2 packs of Good Wipes at your favorite retailer, text them your receipt, and get reimbursed almost immediately for one of them. For more details, head to goodwipes.com/idiot. Again, that's goodwipes.com/idiot to snag a free pack of Good Wipes. Good Wipes, because butts deserve better. I'm going to therapy once a week now. Every Friday at 4, I do therapy, which is huge for me because I always said, I'm too busy, I'm fine. I'm too busy, I'm fine. I don't need it. I'm too busy, I'm fine. And I would do like 1 session a month and then forget and just, no, fuck that. I'm doing it. I'm prioritizing it. And that is helpful. Ever since the fridge fell on me, I got a psychologist and she told me I had complex PTSD, which I feel like is a little dramatic. But I've just kept it up with her. So that's really good. And then, I got some Q&As that I can do. And then we're going to get into this episode. So I'll just read a few. The first question's from Shayla. Are you romantically feeling anything for your ex again after he's been recovered? Coming in hot, baby. Well, it is a little bit of a head fuck because now that my ex has a year sober, I do look at him sometimes and I'm like, wow, it's vintage Steven. Like I call him vintage Steven because he reminds me of the man that I met in 2011 who was sober and kind and funny and patient and creative and I just felt safe around him. Then when he got on drugs, it was the opposite. I was terrified. He was terrifying. He was paranoid. He was abusive. It was not good, obviously, and very public. So now that he has a year, of course, I think I'll just always love him. You know, he's the father of my kids and we were together for 11 years. Like you're not with someone for that long unless you're, 9 times out of 10 best friends and connected in many ways. So we had a deep connection for many, many years. And so now that he's sober, I still feel that I now feel that love again, but romantically, no, I'm not like, let's fuck, there's none of that, there's none of that. It's more a love, like we've made 2 children together and we care about these kids. And now we have weekly meetings around our children and Alfie more so, not that Poppy's any less important, but Alfie has a long list of services and therapies that we need to keep up on because he's autistic, as you know. And so we're now meeting every week about his progress. And we're able to walk the kids to school in the morning and get along. And he is able now, after having a year sober, to step up and have them more. He now will have them 2 nights a week, which is huge, because it was 1 night for very odd. So that's, I suppose, something that was new this weekend was that he had them Friday night and Saturday night. I can't tell you. I am so used to my kids being with me all the time and not just being in the same house at night on either side of me. I bed share with my kids. So it was so insane to have my bed to myself for 2 nights. And one would think that I would get more sleep having them be at their dad's, but no, I was up till 2 in the morning scrolling because I could, because I didn't have kids. It felt very weird and discombobulating. I enjoyed moments, but I missed them. He was very good about sending me like a video an hour of like what they're doing and updating me on all the little things and the big things that they were up to. And that was really nice. So, he found a really great nanny to help as well. So it's just, I feel good about it. And I was like, if they need me, like I'm right down the street, So, so that was really interesting to have those 2 days to myself. The second day, a woman reached out to me who was struggling in recovery. And I spent the whole day with this woman who was spiraling in a crazy way. And I just thought, okay, this is what I'm just going to be of service today and just like keep this girl from jumping off a ledge, and we did that. We like spent the day together and then we went to a meeting at night and like, that was good, and then on Sunday I had my best friend and her kids over and we just swimming and cooking and laughing and all in all, it's good, but I'm going to shut the fuck up. I love you guys. I hope you love this episode. It's really great. She has so many gems, so many words of wisdom. Like really stick around for this. It's 30 minutes and she just will blow your mind. Very inspiring story. If you're at all struggling in your work life, your attitude, self-esteem, she knows what's up, y'all. This life coach, self-development coach knows what's up and she's got some gems in here. So I highly suggest you stick around. And I love you guys so much. And I'll see you next week. Jamie.
Hey, girl.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Well, first of all, I want to talk about that hat.
Isn't it cool?
It's so cool.
I know. I'll get the company to send you one. They sent me one. It's called, I have to look at the tag, but it's called something cool. But they're amazing.
It's just like instant serotonin.
Totally. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it.
That's great. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You had me at gratitude. I'm obsessed with all things gratitude. It's saved me over and over. But tell me a little bit about, so just so you know, we tend to keep these like 30 to 45 minutes because no one has an attention span anymore.
Absolutely.
Including myself. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could talk for hours, but
I get it.
As a consumer, right? You just
Me too.
Right. And you're busy. Are you a mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 little boys.
Oh,
yeah.
My God. Okay. So tell me, who are you? What do you do and why? Let's start there.
Okay. Let's start there. The quick and dirty on me is that, and I shared this with Holly, so I'm just going to like mic drop, like dump it on you. All right. So my mom is Joan London, TV journalist Joan London. She hosted Good Morning America for 20 years. And the only reason I mentioned that at the top is because it's kind of funny that the next part of my story dovetails into like being a sick and suffering, hopeless and helpless, like drug addict.
Wow.
So my mom was like America's mom. And I think I panicked and I just like exited stage left. And so we share obviously like a life in recovery. That's very much a part of my backstory. And I was a publicist for 17 years. So I had a corporate job first. But when I kind of turned the corner and became, I became an influencer and then a personal development coach and a keynote speaker, I focus on gratitude probably for the same reasons you do. I mean, in recovery, that is where I got my roadmap, that an attitude of gratitude is the heartbeat of happiness. But I really feel like a lot of people have it wrong because most of the advice that we give people is not very helpful.
Tell me about that.
Okay. So pretty much, I think that there's like the cottage industry of like gratitude journals is just very misleading. I feel like writing down 3 things that you're grateful for is the advice, right? That everybody gives. And it just doesn't go far enough. And what I hear most of the time is, yeah, but you don't know what I have going on in my life, or like, you don't, if you had what I had going on or that sounds great, but like, I did that in the morning and now it's 2:00 in the afternoon and I'm in an anxiety spiral.
Right.
So I give people a lot of like practical exercises and applications and ways to reframe it because I don't think people really know how to do it.
Well, it's okay. So tell me what they're doing wrong and then tell me how to do it right.
Okay. So first of all, I guess kind of what I just said about the most practical advice. It's not that advice is wrong, right? It's not that the advice of writing down 3 things in the morning is wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, it's a great idea. But at the end of the day, it's a little bit myopic. It's a little bit generic. And it doesn't really dig into what really needs to happen. So here's what
Yeah, you're kind of phoning it in. Like, I'm grateful for the trees, for coffee, for my kids. And it's like you feel good for 10 minutes and then you're like.
And like, yeah. And if you're in the middle of an anxiety spiral, or like, God forbid, a family member has cancer or something really bad happened, being grateful for the trees ain't going to cut it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I really believe, like, I always say, I don't teach optimism. I teach agency. There's like a huge distinction there. Optimism says like everything happens for a reason. And agency says like, I get to decide what this means. So I say life writes the chapter, you write the meaning.
I love that. Thanks to Good Wipes for sponsoring this episode. You guys, I need to talk about Good Wipes and I need to be honest with you first. I was a skeptic. Actually flushable booty wipes, other brands have said that and my toilet just gets clogged. But here's the thing no one tells you. Toilet paper alone is doing like 60% of the job, maybe, on a good day. The first time you use Good Wipes, you'll say, oh, out loud alone in your bathroom. And that'll be the moment that you'll never go back. They're so soft, like genuinely suspiciously soft, and they don't dry you out or irritate your skin at all, which makes someone whose skin files a formal complaint about most products huge. They're made with plant-based fibers, no harsh chemicals, and they're actually flushable. So I'm not doing anything weird to my plumbing. My plumbing has been through enough. And they've fully become a bathroom staple in my house. Every bathroom has a pack. I travel with them. They're in my carry-on before my phone charger is. And I have my priorities exactly right. They're one of those products you don't realize you need until you try them. And then you're like, how was I living? One of my favorites is lavender. It's like a tiny spa moment for your bum. But honestly, all the scents smell amazing. Rosewater, Botanical Bliss, Shea Cocoa, and there's a fragrance-free one for sensitive skin. These are truly the best booty wipes I've ever tried. And I've told so many friends about them that I should honestly be on a payroll. Oh, wait. Good Wipes wants your booty to have a sensational summer. Buy any 2 packs of Good Wipes at your favorite retailer and text them your receipt and get reimbursed almost immediately for one of them. For more details, head to goodwipes.com/idiot. Again, that's goodwipes.com/idiot to snag a free pack of Good Wipes. Good Wipes, because butts deserve better. Hey guys, I keep forgetting to tell you what actually happens on my Patreon. So last week I shot this Pamela Pupkin sketch for a brand deal and I'm so excited about it. Me in a leotard. And then I had a Karen wig on. The Alan turned 84 and is still putting up with me. And it was unhinged in the best way. I did an exclusive behind the scenes live for people over there. And it got me thinking, do y'all even know what goes on in that little corner of the internet? It's not algorithm run. It's just real, delivered directly to your inbox. So I've been writing very personal essays every week, actually thoughtful questions, real life musings, not just here's a picture of my salad like you see on your For You page. We've talked about boobs after breastfeeding, our moms, our exes, our kids, our friendships, dating, basically everything you're not supposed to say out loud at a dinner party. Okay? I'm sharing exclusive audio clips from my book that nobody's heard yet, unless you've read the book. I open up over there the same way I do with my besties over matcha. No performing required. We're all just reflecting together like a group chat that occasionally cries. So it's only $3 a month. And right now I'm giving away free signed copies of my book to people in there. So come be a part of it. It's genuinely my favorite little corner of the internet right now. Go to patreon.com/Laura Clary. That's patreon.com/Laura Clary. Weekly newsletters, personal essays, lives, and I'm giving away a free signed copy of my book to certain members who join. How do we do gratitude the right way, in your opinion?
So there's a lot of reframes that I put. And in my book, in The Gratitude Shift, which is coming out on November 10th.
Well, send me a copy, girl.
I will. At the end of every chapter, I really wanted to make sure that there is an actionable exercise because, again, just reading about somebody else's gratitude experience isn't necessarily going to help you in the hard moments. So at the end of every chapter, there's an exercise. So I have a lot of like frameworks, a lot of 1, 2, 3. Do these 3 things in like a hard moment. I'll give you an example. One of the things that I really wanted to do in writing my book, like my book came as a byproduct of my addiction, first and foremost. I believe those who have seen the darkest places see the light that much brighter. And so I had to go through really dark disease and addiction and almost dying to just wake up every morning being grateful for the air in my lungs. But I don't want everyone to have to go through that. Like I had the gift of desperation and so did you, because you know what that feels like.
Yeah.
But everyone doesn't have to go through that. So I think a lot of people wait, right? Like we've all heard of like the dad who waits until he has the heart attack to like change his eating, or like the husband who waits to like fix his marriage until she leaves him, or the, you know, like the CEO who waits to change her life until she gets the promotion and then she missed her kids growing up. So I always say life whispers before it yells.
Yeah. You don't have to hit bottom. Yeah.
You don't have to. And so one of the things I suggest is to ask, like I have frameworks of questions, like what is life whispering at me right now? What have I started taking for granted? Like what small action could I take today before this becomes a crisis? So it's a lot of like little, like, I always say life changes in the micro moments. Everyone thinks personal development is this big, I'm going to start a plan and a course and I'm going to shift everything next month or next quarter. It's like, babe, it happens in the micro moments. It happens in the here and now. It happens in doing the reps. That's how you build confidence. That's how you build gratitude. It's how you build anything. I saw the greatest thing, Laura, on TikTok the other day. Did you see this? There is this girl and she came on TikTok, or she recorded herself every day for 30 days. And she comes to the camera and she looked like a mom, like a normal girl, like a normal woman. And she just said like, I don't feel like a hot. I want to feel like a hot. And she was like, so I'm going to tell myself every day for 30 days that I'm a hot. And you just see her like day after day, like, doing the reps. She's like, I'm a hot. And some days she would backslide and she would have tears. And then she gets to day 30 and you could just tell something shifted in her heart. And she was like, I'm a hot. And the whole comment section, myself included, were like, you go to that stranger. Like, because we watched her doing the reps. So you don't just tell yourself you're confident and you get confident. You don't tell yourself you're grateful and you get grateful. It's the same reason you don't go to the gym and do one bicep curl and you have arms. You gotta, like, it's a practice.
Yeah, it's a practice. No, I'm really familiar with that. And I think early on, before I was successful in my career and when I was in early sobriety and I, figuring it out in my early 20s, I had to lie to myself every day. I'm a huge fan of affirmations, but it was every day and every night. It was like just 5 minutes a day. Just, I am smart enough. I am worthy to be happiness and health. And I just had to affirm these things. And you know what? It's actually really fun. I have a lot of fun visualizing and affirming the life that I want. But I find if I don't practice gratitude before, it's not as powerful. So
absolutely.
So for me, I'm teaching my daughter this already. We do these gratitude walks in the morning and we get up, and Alfie participates too. In his own way, my son who's on the spectrum, but, but, I I say I'm so happy and grateful for. And there's something about doing it in nature, moving your body outside. And we just list them off, and then she lists it off, and then I list it off, and it's a practice, and you just do it every day, and then you become inherently more grateful.
Laura, girl, I have watched everything you've been through over the last year. Okay. And so, like, here's the thing. You're such a perfect example of somebody who's showing up and doing the work and showing us all that the work is just showing up every day. And this is what you've been modeling for your kids. I mean, we've all watched it. This is why everybody loves you, because you show the messy moments. It's what I've always tried to do too. You make your mess your message, but only once you've healed, and you're showing up and showing the hard parts, even when it's still raw. But I call them identity rehearsals. So
I like
you're
that.
showing up and you're rehearsing like who you want to be. I mean, it's true, because the thing is, confidence, everyone thinks confidence has to come first, and then you do the hard thing. But confidence isn't the admission ticket. It's the souvenir. Like showing up on the stage and doing the public speaking. Like, it doesn't matter if you are great or if you flop, you showed up. So you have the confidence. You have the confidence that you can do that again. Because, by the way, you have to flop the first time. Everyone's so scared of looking like a beginner that they don't want to show up. You have to flop the first time. In my book, so my book came from my podcast. I have a podcast called the Gratitudeology Podcast. And I interviewed like hundreds of CEOs and elite athletes and all these people and celebrities. And that became the book. So my book is an A to Z guide. So it's 26 chapters. So each chapter has a different person that was a guest on my show and their story. So Allie Webb is a great example. Allie Webb. She's the founder of Drybar. Okay. Yeah, she founded Drybar and she sold it for $255 million.
Oh,
and
my God.
Yeah, casual day at the office.
Jesus.
Allie tells a story about, she was a hairdresser. And she tells this story about like showing up in meetings where her brother was her business partner, and she'd be sitting around the table with like all of these men in suits. And she would be so scared to ask a question because she didn't want to look stupid that she would text her brother under the table. And he would be like, "That's a very good question. You should ask it." And he's like, "By the way, you're the reason that we're all here." And she's like, "Oh yeah." And like, sometimes you have to if Allie had waited to be ready, if she had waited to get her MBA to try to like scale her business, she would have missed the opportunity for a $255 million exit. Like, you have to just start showing up.
Wow. Just show up.
Show up. Do the reps.
Do the reps. Wow. Okay. So that's really, really cool. Tell me a little bit about, not that I need a whole drunk-a-log, but what was your bottom? What did that look like for you?
Girl. All right. So, I think I'm probably a couple years older than you. I was a teenager in the 90s when the rave era was like just starting, but it wasn't what it is now. It wasn't like music festival. It was like underground, like dirty. And I remember like on 2020, there was an episode where they were like, "It's Friday night. Do you know where your children are? They might be at a rave, like overdosing on drugs and dancing to music." And I was like, where do I sign up for that? There was not one bit of me that was scared or nervous. I was like, yes. And I think it was maybe partially because my mom was so viewed as so perfect that there were very big shoes to fill. And I just kind of went the other direction, you know?
But did your mom or dad put that pressure on yourself, or did you put it on?
No, none. They put zero of that pressure on me. Zero.
Yeah.
It was the lens through which I heard.
Sure.
My mom could literally say the sky is blue and I would hear "you're not good enough." And it's not her fault.
Wow.
Like at all. Okay. And we're best friends now. But
Love.
Anyway, I found my identity. My hair was hot pink. I had like everything pierced and I was a cuckoo banana bird. And, but I wouldn't change 1 minute of it. It's how I found my identity. It's how I found myself. Thank God I made it through. And so I did all the club drugs, all through my teenage years and into college. I went to NYU and then eventually went down the road with amphetamines. And I got sober for my first time in my early 20s. Mm-hmm. And I got sober in CMA in New York City, which is Crystal Meth Anonymous. Oh. And that's where all the gay boys get sober. And so that's where I belonged. I was like a circuit party, gay nightlife gal.
Yeah.
And I remember getting in my first meeting and being like, oh my God, here's my people. Like everything I had been searching for on the dance floor was like right there and like on the floor of Soul Cycle and Barry's boot camp. And I was like, oh, like the tribal rhythm and the communal energy, it was right there.
Wow.
And so I've loved recovery since the first day. It took me a little while to get it. I finally went to treatment in my late 20s and that was that. But recovery's been a big part of my life. And it's, I always say, like, even as a coach and as a keynote speaker, I don't have an original thought in my head. This all comes from what I've learned in recovery. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I just use it to help people in other areas of their life.
That's really cool. And so then you became a publicist.
Yeah.
And how was that?
I was a publicist. It was so funny. Like I also have a lot of opinions about burnout. I believe that most people get burnout not because of the hours they work, but because they're actually like I didn't hate my job. I actually loved my job, but I was completely attached to like the validation. Do you know what I mean? Like
absolutely. Do I know what you mean?
Yeah. You don't identify at all with that, right? Like, no, I mean, it was everything about, I always say whatever fills your cup can also empty it. You know what I mean? And that
you just need a coffee table book with all your little slogans.
My little ism.
Yes.
I know because I try to think about how to package this stuff. Cause like, just like you, like, girl, I've just been through it. And so I think a lot of what I teach other people is just trying to unpack what happened to me. Like, but with my job, like I've had people who work 80-hour work weeks who are energized and people who work 20-hour work weeks who are totally burnt out. So I think burnout can happen because you're too tied to your worth. Like you're totally tied to the worth that you get through your work. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, girl, I do. Like my first sponsor told me one day, and this never left me. She said, Laura, I called her and I was in so much fear about posting a video because what if people didn't like it? Or even worse, what if they didn't care? And she just goes, Laura, you're an artist, make art. You stay in the actions and out of the results. I gotta go.
Good. Got for sponsors.
I
love that.
But it was that.
Drop a bomb on you.
Dude. Yeah. And it's all 14 years later. I am still saying that. Stay in the action and out of the results. It's not
best,
right? Just be in the action, do the thing, have a service mindset around work and out of the, what can I get? What can I get? What can I get? And certainly don't tie your self-worth to your job and your success and how well it's going. But
easier said than done. But yeah, like I agree with you.
It's a daily practice, right?
It's a daily practice. Yeah. And I saw you on your Patreon earlier. We were literally doing the same thing at the same time. I was just saying the third step prayer. And I saw you say a prayer, like inviting, whatever, God to speak through you.
Yes. God, remove my fear, replace it with faith and love and help me to serve in whatever way you see fit. That helps me. I love that. Just remove the fear, replace it with faith and love and help me to serve.
See, and this is what I mean. Like, I don't need to reinvent that. That's perfect. And so I'm able to, thank God, imbue some of this to other people. But a lot of this was taught to me by my sponsor, because I think somewhere along the way, we start believing I'll feel enough when I get promoted, when I hit the revenue goal, when I sell more books, right? The problem is there's always another when. And so gratitude interrupts that cycle. Like achievement asks, like, what have I accomplished? And then gratitude asks, like, what do I already have that matters? What have I already done that what matters? I am. And so that matters. I am enough. And when you can start to reframe that, all of this is coming back to the fact that I was a publicist for 17 years who worked on the most fun accounts in the world. We were the agency of record for McDonald's. I did all of their influencer, experiential, and celebrity for 7 years. So he did their Coachella party. I did such fun accounts, and I would come home every day crying on my couch. And my husband's like, babe, if you don't want to do that job anymore, I'm like, I love the job. I was just,
I love it.
Out. I thought it was normal to cry every day. And it was just because I was so tied up to the results, but really to the validation. I needed everybody to think I was the best. So what I say all that to say, when I look back on it now, it's so crazy to me that I was throwing McDonald's parties and I was acting like I had the codes to the nukes. You know what I mean? Like, chill out, Jamie, like chill out. But I just didn't have an ability to reframe it. And so thank God when I blew up my life, recovery gave me that whole ability. And it was when I started to really practice that and learn it. That was when I became an influencer, and then I started teaching it. And that was kind of like the pivot for me.
And so when you started teaching how to become a content creator?
Yeah. So I started off I started off just as a content creator. I was known as NYC Fit Fam back in the day, and I was just a fitness and wellness influencer. But because I had come from the PR side for 17 years, I was a bit uniquely positioned because I was the one hiring the influencers for brands like McDonald's and General Motors and whatever. So when I became one, like it never even occurred to me to do like a $500 deal when I could just put together a $50,000 one. I was like, just put together a 360 deal. And then other people started being like, wait, what? Say what? Like, what do you mean you left your corporate job and 5x your income? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, could you teach me how to do that too? And I was like, yeah, I could do that. So that's what I teach now.
That's what you teach now.
Yeah. I have a course called Brand Ninja. And if anyone's interested in that, you can go to my website, which is meetjamiehess.com. But I got to be honest, it's 50% a mindset course. Like I teach all the tactical, practical, but so many people are just scared to show up on social media.
It's a mindset course.
Well, it's tactical, practical, but it ends up being as much mindset because, I mean, you know this, how many people do you talk to that, first of all, influencer is like a dirty word. I'm like, just throw the word out the window. Like, just get with the program. Like, it's 2026.
Yeah.
We are ambassadors for brands. We are doing great work for them. Throw that out the window. But I always say, especially to my friends who are like keynote speakers or authors, I'm like, if you're not doing work with brands, do you not think there's a brand that would want to be like the hero of your narrative? That would want to be the hero of your book tour or of whatever you've got going on?
Yeah. There's
brands out there. You don't have to be a Kardashian to be,
totally.
There's anything wrong with the fabulous Kardashians, but that's not how, there's different lanes. So I teach people how to do it.
And so do you teach them how to like reach out to the brands that they want to partner with? Right. So it's not, you're not waiting. That's so interesting. Right. And you do that for yourself.
I do all of it. I've been doing it for myself for going on 8 years. And like, even all through the pandemic, right? I left my job. Get this. I left my job in 2019. I was pregnant with my second child and left my job, was leaving my health insurance. My mom thought I was out of my ever loving mind. She's like, you don't leave a 6-figure job with health insurance, pregnant. And I was like, with all due respect, I think you're wrong. And I was like, oh my God, I hope this works, you know? And then the world shut down, then COVID. And I was like, oh my God, Jamie, like, what have you done? But I think where everybody else saw like, oh, maybe we should just like go on pause or hiatus. Like I saw opportunity because I know how this works. I knew all of my CPG brands, like consumer packaged goods, they usually rely on like sampling in the summer and all of these like experiential events, and all of that was shut down. So like immediately I saw a gap. I was like, I could show up and help them activate in different ways. I could do at-home experiences and digital opportunities. I just had this mind for it because I'd been doing it for almost 20 years as the planner. So I started putting together all these programs and my business skyrocketed. Like I 5x my business in those first 18 months when I left my corporate job. So I've always been doing it on like a bigger level where I was doing more 360 stuff. And people were like, how do you do that? And it was just second nature to me because I had been doing it for a long time. And for years, Laura, people were like, wait, can you teach us? And I was like, no, thank you. Like, I'm just happy doing it myself and like making all the money.
No, thanks.
And finally, I was like, I actually do think, because I think the content creator world and influencers have like a bad name for good reason. There's a lot of bad actors out there, but I think if we could be more creative and more innovative, let's like give ourselves a good name back. Let's do best in class work. And that's kind of what I teach. I'm really proud of the programs I do. And I'm proud of my students. They graduate and on average, they make, anywhere between like $10,000 and $50,000 in the first 90 days when they graduate. The ones who have a platform I teach, and a platform means a couple thousand followers. Like people don't need to have this day and age.
Yeah.
And it can go viral.
Oh, no, I love it. I actually think it's really cool. I mean, yeah, it's saturated, but I just love that everyone has a voice. Was it Andy Warhol who said everyone will be famous for 15 minutes? He was right.
15 minutes.
Yeah, but it's really cool. I joke that my dentist has a TikTok. Everyone has a TikTok. Everyone's a content creator. Everyone has a story to tell. And it's really cool that we have global distribution at our fingertips and that we can all tell our story and it can all go out there. I feel like when I started, it wasn't really like that. It was very odd.
Totally. It was.
And now it is the future, right?
But look at the journey you're able to share. Like you started with comedy and now you're able to be like a role model for autism moms. Like what we are able to do in our little niche pockets of the internet. And that's why I tell people, if you're scared to post because your Aunt Judy is going to judge you and be like,
block Aunt Judy.
Influencer, does Aunt Judy pay your mortgage, girl? And also, you're robbing people of an opportunity to learn from you, to be inspired by you. Almost like, how dare you? Like, show up and post, like, push through the cringe, because there's people out there who need to hear what you have to say.
That's another thing my sponsor said to me. She was like, Laura, it's selfish of you not to. You're being selfish and self-seeking right now. You're holding back your gift out of fear. Be of service. Treat it like an act of service, which I love. That gets me motivated. You know,
100%.
we know this. It's like when I'm thinking about do, re, me, I'm miserable. Right. But when I'm like, miserable. Okay, how can I help someone? Or how can this video, whether even if it's a dumb comedy sketch, it'll make someone laugh for 15 seconds. Or in your case, it was health and wellness. Like, how can you potentially change someone's life by giving them a tip to better themselves? Like, that's very powerful and exciting and motivating.
It really is.
Wow. Wait, so tell me, so you're married with 2 boys. How old are they?
Mason and Asher are 7 and 10. And I am married to my amazing husband, George, who I'm 46 and he's 66, which is kind of a fun moment for us.
Holy shit.
But we literally never notice. But he's my absolute best friend and biggest champion and supporter. And I always say to my gal pals, I'm like, get yourself an older man. Like, they hold the door. They asked if there's anything else that they can, I mean, at least mine does, but like he comes from a different era. Like, he gets off the couch and he's like, babe, is there anything I can bring you? Like, do you need a cup of tea? And I'm like, you are an angel from heaven. So, and also I'm very blessed that he wanted to raise more kids because he has older kids from his previous marriage.
Sure.
And so I'm very blessed that he wanted to do it all over again.
How did you 2 meet?
We were set up on a blind date by one of our mutual best friends who's, a DJ. He works in the music industry. He represents like all the biggest DJs in the world.
Okay.
My friend's a DJ. I did her PR. And she was like, you have to meet my friend George. She asked me, she was like, what? We were walking home from an event. I like red carpeted her at an event and it was like all about her that night. And we were walking home. She's like, well, how about you? She's like, wow, you have a boyfriend. I was like, because I'm happy. Like, I'm happy. I don't want anyone to mess that up. And I have my time to go to the gym, to like do my thing. And she was like, you have to meet my friend George. And we met. We literally haven't been apart a day, and we're celebrating 15 years in January.
Get out. So you met and it was like
1 or 2
that.
days, but other than like when he was on a trip or I was on a trip, but he's my best friend. And that's how it's.
Oh my God. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. I'm very blessed. Very blessed.
It's funny for me. I feel like I kill it in the friend department. I wouldn't say I kill it, but I have really like a few really good, close, trusted friends. Like, I feel fulfilled in that area. Work, same, very creative, confident. It's, it's progress, not perfection, but I'm doing what I love and I'm making a good living doing what I love. Good mom. Love my kids. Lots of fun. Girl, recovery, same. I go to my women's support meetings every week. I love it. I love connecting with, in my home group, they're all between 60 to 90 years old and have like 40 plus years of sobriety. And by the way,
I want to come to your meeting.
You have to come. It's life.
I read the book.
It changed my life. You just learn so much from these women, but, romantic love, that is where I am just still deeply unwell. And it's funny, I went to a SLA meeting last week. I was actually going with a friend who was really struggling in that area. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous. And I wouldn't say I'm a sex addict. I think I have actually pretty good discipline around that. But the love addiction, girl, it's just there. My life is manageable, but it's real. Oh, it's real. And I think after like leaving this 10-year marriage and it ending the way that it did so publicly, there's just, I teeter. I go back and forth between, nope, celibacy, can't let anyone in. And it's kind of sexual anorexia a bit, right? Where I'm not even wanting to open myself up to like need love, need validation. And I just, for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe it's daddy issues, but I struggle in the romantic love department. And it's the one area where I'm like, I don't know that I'll ever heal. I don't know. I think because I'm so happy in other areas, I'm okay. Like I'm not like I need a man or a woman to fill the hole in the soul, but go ahead. What you got?
No, I mean, I'm right there with you. Well, here's what I think. First of all, as you get a little older, isn't it cool that you can be like, I'm actually really fulfilled in these other areas.
Yes.
So like, that's okay for today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for right now, that's good.
And I have a vibrator.
I mean, who doesn't? That's fabulous. I mean, like, great, like one problem solved. But Dr. Phil used to say, I mean, I don't know why I'm quoting Dr. Phil, but he used to say,
Our Lord and Savior, Dr. Phil.
Our Lord and Savior, Dr. Phil, used to say, but I love this quote, that relationships aren't 50-50, they're 100-100. And I think that the reason that George and I worked is because when my friend Tracy introduced us, she was like, I want to introduce you. And I was like, I'm all good. And he was like, kind of all good. We weren't looking to fill that hole. And I think that's kind of why it worked. We were finally both hundreds where we were like, okay, we could just be best friends and not have to be codependent. It was every relationship I had before him was spicy. I mean, in the worst ways. Like, you fight like passionately, you make up passionately, but it was not stable.
Or like the obsession.
Or the cheating, all the things.
Sure.
And it's so comfortable. Our relationship's and like also passionate. Like I love the shit out of him and I want to jump his bones all the time, but we're so comfortable. Like I'm not worried about anything. And I know he's got me and I've got him and it's so
But
good.
when you say best friends, were you best friends first or you got right into dating and
both?
romance?
No, both. I mean, he like drove me home from our first date. I was like, no, I'm not that kind of girl. And then date 3, I was like, come on up. And then we literally just like moved in together and it was like, I don't know, we've just been inseparable. And I say to him like all the time, this is the gratitude thing. I think sometimes we recognize when things are bad, but we don't often enough notice when things are good.
Sure.
So I just make sure to say to him all the time, like, babe, I really love like that every night is a slumber party with my best friend. Like that's so fun. Like it's just fun to recognize that. You know what I mean? Because I know what it feels like to not have it like that.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate my relationship and that we're like truly besties.
Yeah. That's really cool. I would say like the majority of marriages that I see are not like that. There are some, of course. But I mean, just from what I see and hear from women specifically, they're not satisfied and they don't feel like they have their best friend with them. It's like constant dissatisfaction. Not all. I just notice, and maybe I'm more wired to notice that right now because I'm still healing, right?
I think that's more of the reality for most people.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel you have survivor's guilt. Sometimes I don't want to share.
No, you should.
I know, but sometimes I feel bad because here's the gratitude piece again. People can come to me and be like, yeah, it's easy for you with your like perfect husband who treats you well and helps out with the kids. And I'm like, I understand that. I really do.
Sure.
But also there's a lot more there in this paradigm that I'm trying to teach.
But I think what you said was really important, that you came in 100, that this whole, he's my other half, 50-50 and we make a whole. No, absolutely not. And I would say even in my marriage, when Stephen was sober, we were best friends and we had the best time. So like, I'm not one of the bitter. And not that there's anything wrong. You can have regret. That's fine. But I don't regret our marriage. It was awesome until it wasn't. We were best friends. We were making comedy and music and cracking up and it was passionate and fun. And then, truly, I say this a lot that, sobriety brought us together and addiction tore us apart. So I think it's important that you share that. I need to hear it. People need to hear it. Yeah.
Totally. Mm-hmm. And I like to give credit where credit's due. Like it also is a reminder that there are good men out there. And my mom got remarried to a great guy. And my sister and I found our husbands at the same time. And I was like, oh my God, we have these 3 men that are like, I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop because that had been my experience.
Yeah.
And like after we all were just like happily married for a few years, I'm like, oh my God, guys, like, did we actually find like guys that aren't snakes? Like this is crazy. I truly didn't believe that it existed. I did not believe that there was a man out there that if given the opportunity to cheat where nobody would find out, that he wouldn't take it. Like that was a core belief.
Well, and how do you know that that's not the case?
I don't know that that's not the case, but I believe in my heart. Like I really,
Sure,
and look, I
it's
could
a
be,
belief.
sure,
It's a
I
belief.
could be naive, but I think this seeing examples of three men that I really do have like really good faith in reframed what I believe could be true.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's having faith and belief in them.
It's all I can know.
Of course.
That's all I can know, you know?
And you know what else too? Like, even if they were to have a weak moment, like just doing that work on yourself and having that self-love is imperative, because if something goes south, you know, you'll have the strength to walk away, you know?
100%. Yeah. No, that really is it at the end of the day. And I say this all the time about the gratitude piece.
Yeah.
Gratitude and living that life and a life in recovery has given me, you know, a lot of the cash and prizes, right? Like my husband and I started our life together in a studio apartment, the two of us and my little dog. And now we live in a very different situation, you know, and we live in a lovely house in Pennsylvania that we worked our way, because I'm on QVC, one of my many jobs. I'm on QVC, so I'm here now. Yeah. Oh, girl, we could talk about that for days. But my point is, we worked our way up in life. And if all the cash and prizes were to disappear tomorrow, because I truly, deeply, fundamentally have gratitude in my life in a way that is like a working and intuitive part of my mind, as the big book says, we'd be okay. I'd be okay.
That's right.
Truly.
That's right. Exactly. I write about my water getting shut off in my $3 million house, which is like so insane. But it's because I was, you know, left all the finances to my ex, and my life was just unmanageable. I was so scared of not managing my money properly. And I've since rebuilt, and it's wonderful, but it's so interesting to know, to just know, like, this is just stuff. Like, as long as, you know, we're in good health and we're okay and my kids are safe and I'm safe, like, truly that gratitude has saved me time and time again. I think it also helps, like in my case, I came from very little, but I was a happy girl. So I think I knew that early on, whereas my friends who grew up with money, not that there were a lot of them, but sometimes they wrestled with that because so much, right? There was so much like value on material things that it was just interesting to watch and observe that.
I grew up in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Okay.
And I'm a horseback rider. So I grew up with the horseback rider set.
Okay.
So that's some of the wealthiest families in the United States.
Wow.
Some of the wealthiest people I've ever met are the most miserable mamma jammas that you would miserable because Laura, if you can have everything, nothing means anything.
Yeah, I can see that.
Truly.
I can see that.
And they're not, there's a lot of weird family stuff. In a heartbeat, if I had to choose, like, you know, look, they say, like, we all joke, right? Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy you a jet ski. Like, yes, it's great to be comfortable. Yeah. But in case of a tie, like money or true inner happiness, I'm sorry, girl. Like, I'll live I would downgrade, I would downsize.
Totally.
I just want to be good here.
Yeah. Where can everyone find you? You're amazing.
Thank you, my friend. They can find me on Instagram at Jamie Hess, and they can find me on at my website, which is meetjamiehess.com. And if you text the word gratitude, this is cool. Just text the word gratitude to 55444. You can get a link to pre-order my book.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. And what about your course? How can we sign? I want to sign up for your course.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's over at meetjamiehess.com, but my DMs are always open. So anyone can DM me and I'll get right back to them and get them all set up. I do live coaching cohorts. I actually have one coming up in September. Is
there anything you want to leave the viewers with?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I really just encourage people to take a deep breath with me because this world right now is so scary. And it is so easy to wake up and feel like you're already 5 miles behind because we all are. Like, it's really hard to feel caught up when the world is just steamrolling like a runaway train without us. So if we could just all take one deep breath together, that would be amazing. So can I lead that? Mm-hmm. Okay. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Love it.
Love it.
Thank you.
Laura.